Wub 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 wub. Wub 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 wub. Wub 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 wub. Fuck. Wub 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 wub. Wub 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 wub. Wub 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 wub. We'll get started in a minute.
Here's a picture of the skyline. As you can see, everything's fine. Portland's great all the time, according to the city council, stealing the taxpayers' dime. Follow the money, the homeless industrial complex thinks this really funny.
Boo 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 boo.
Launder more money, kickback sweet as honey. Their projectile shit is running me. Waiting for the doctor with their hurt tummy. Oregon trailers in real life. Why am I being chased with a knife? I was sure it was extinct.
All right. Welcome to another fucking fantastic episode of I'm Gonna Talk, You're Gonna Listen Live. I'm your host, really, really fucking sick guy. So I haven't tried to make like a big deal out of it, but yeah, I'm pretty fucking sick. The last 9 days have been a blur. This is the first day I've almost had my voice back. I still can't get a full breath. And I'm lucky to get 3 or 4 hours of sleep at night still. But I'm on the mend. So I thought it was a good idea to get going, but I'm not gonna overdo it. So there's going to be a lot of coughing, but I'm going to try to get through it, because there's a lot to talk about, and I have a lot of thoughts, feelings, and opinions that's been torturing everybody, pestering them, since I can't do my own show. Yeah. Man, okay. Well, nobody's here, so whatever. Let's just read through the comments. So, I've been talking back and forth with Granny, who got a copy of my bunker codes, bunker basics. Fuck. She says it's great and everyone needs to grab a copy. She's already almost done reading it. And she says, I wrote it from the heart with the purpose of helping others, and it comes through beautifully. And I think that's really cool. Carrie Johnson 4328 says they have an AR5RM. That's a Baofeng radio. And they say they love it. They say the only drawback is why'd they make the menu in a color where if you're outside there's no way to see the red. Have to go indoors to see the menu. Yeah. That's my biggest beef with it, is they didn't make it a big LCD screen. It's a big LED screen. And that's great if you're using it as a, a hobby, a glorified hobby toy in your house, like a cell phone. But outside it gets washed out, and then if you're using it inside at night, it's too bright, and there's no way to just there's no like backlight button. And I still think like the pros outweigh the cons between that and the UV5R, but no, I get it, I don't know if it's just R&D or what, but I don't know why Baofeng wouldn't get like some real preppers, like Gorilla Guide to Baofengs, and design a fuck, NC Scout, I'm probably gonna pause this and go get my tea. So it says there's one person here. I don't know. I'll be back in a minute. I made a big thing of tea to hope that this wasn't gonna happen. So I'll be back in a minute. I apologize. Play a little song for you guys. Which one do you guys want to hear? Jesus. Jeez. Oh man, sucks. Yeah, maybe if I drink some scalding hot freaking honey tea. Alright. I was doing fine for a while, now I can't catch my breath again. Alright, going back through the comments. Hudson Valley says hi. A new guy named Spectre started hanging around talking about prepper stuff. He says he lived near me for 30 years and then got out. He says Texas is the place to be. I still think, unpopular opinion, but I think Texas is in denial. I think a lot of liberals moved there. And if you don't get the liberals out, they're going to flip the state. It's just a matter of them figuring out how, but they will. And then when they say, oh, it's just in the big cities, it's just in the big cities. That's what Idaho says too. Oh, it's just Boise. It's just Boise. Or Utah. Oh, it's just Salt Lake City. You know, so Portland is less than 0.2% geography-wise of Oregon. You have less than 0.2% of Oregon controlling all of Oregon. So and somehow that 0.2% can also, block the National Guard from being deployed, which is just insane. It's not even the capital. And it acts like it's its own country. Much like Seattle does, which is more specifically Snohomish, King, and Pierce County. I guess I should have asked, what's the geographic size of Multnomah County? Wah. It's just like how Ottawa thinks it runs all of Canada, right? Fuck you, Ottawa. You don't control me, buddy. Why don't you put that in your hockey stick? Yeah, everything does suck, dude. I'm sicker than shit. I've been sick for 9 fucking days. I can still barely talk. But I got on to say, fuck you, Ottawa. So, yeah. So, the reason why I say Texas is cucked off its ass is that's where all, the shitbird wannabe fuckface influencers live. All the gun-tuber influencers. Anything east of Manitoba. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. If you're not on the coast, you're dead to me. Fuck you, inlanders. Or as they say, all the people that couldn't figure out how to get over the Appalachians. That always cracked me up. Rural, what's up, buddy? Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100% rural. Oh, shit. I forgot to tell you. Today was a really fucking busy day. Your package is in the mail. Wait, no, maybe I did tell you. It's gonna get there. Shit, I already forgot. Hold on, everybody. Stop the fucking stream. Fucking the mushroom people of Nova Scotia. Exactly. Your package is... Oh, it says Thursday now. Your package is going to get there Thursday. I did tell... Okay, dude. My memory is about 5 seconds long. And a lot of the time, not even that. I've been grinding this is gonna sound dumb. I have no memory, but I've been grinding training classes. I just got a certificate. I got a certificate in AI tech lead. It's like 13 hours of classes. So I'm fucking smart now, you guys. And as long as I feel like this, I'm just going to keep doing them, because apparently when I'm sick off my ass, I have no concept of time. Maybe this is what Adderall feels like. Where I could just take training classes all day and like not fucking care. Because if I had any actual energy, I'd want to be running outside and working on everything. But I'm so fried right now that I'm like, yeah, I guess training classes sound great. So I got my AI tech lead certificate, which is crazy. And it's actually really interesting. AI is developing like an entire an entire governance ecosystem around it. So if you're familiar with, Sarbanes-Oxley, because of Enron's collapse, and if you're familiar with like financial auditing and KPMG and stuff, AI has got a whole governance framework around it. So I think there's going to be a lot of jobs in the future for like AI auditors. And I don't necessarily want to get into that, but that could be like a really killer backup job. Granny, hello. I hope you're doing okay. Show and tell, hello. I'm still fighting my like 9-day cold. Show and tell knows all about colds that last forever. I guess that's what I get for making fun of her for so long. So, so I think Texas, so there was like literally Antifa in Texas the other day. And, if you go and read like Texas's social media posts, Sarbanes-Oxley was a part of the X-Men. Yeah, he's the one that audited Professor X's usage of the Danger Room and Cerebro. Yeah, I don't know, CDK. So here's what's absolutely mind-blowing. Our family friend was over. Me and her somehow got it at exactly the same time, which shouldn't even be possible without, my wife having got it. And she ended up getting diagnosed with like bronchitis and all kinds of really bad shit. She got even sicker than I did. So I don't know how the hell, and we all only went to one place together. I don't know. And the incubation period for this must be like ridiculously long. And nobody at my work. No, that's not true. One guy from my work came down really sick too, and he was out for a long time. And I was hanging out with him, so I could have got it from him, but then I don't know where our friend got it from. You talk about like the kitty flu, and I can't remember if I remember to put this in my book or not, but cats can catch human viruses. And when I lost one of my cats, I was wondering if it was because he caught a cold from me and then just couldn't fight it off because he was getting too old. And because he was sneezing and sneezing and sneezing and sneezing. And it really made me sad. To think that I could have been responsible for that. But yeah, Ringo started sneezing last night. I mean, they absolutely do catch human colds. We could have both caught it from the cat, but I think I was sick before the cat was. And like I said, there was one guy sick that I was next to. Anyway. Fucking Texas. So Spectre says, regarding Texas, maybe just in the big cities, but things are changing. Between new laws and people and things are and will get better. I live out in the country, far away from the cities. I have 2 properties. One is 110 acres, just outside from a small town, and the other is 130 acres. Way out that main homestead. We are set up for whatever comes. You're really not. The problem is that you can't even hope to control that much acreage. Oh, show and tell, I know. I saw it the second it dropped earlier. And I was going to talk about that, but nobody knows exactly when they're going to get deployed. Some people say they might wait a couple more days just to let the diddly-do expire, just to make sure they don't get the runaround, but they really need it. Like 2 nights ago was really bad. And unpopular opinion, what Antifa is doing in Portland is really performative. What they're doing with ICE is more like a dance. I call it a dance. Hey, Steele, I hope you're doing okay. If you want, it looks crazy, but it's almost overwhelmingly performative. And the reason why I say that is ARC. There's certain attacks. There's different kinds of attacks when you're dealing with riot cops, where a lot of it's performative. All of Ohio is controlled by the 3 C's. Cartels, I don't know what the other 2 C's are. Cartels, Chinese, and Cinco de Mayo. Cartels, Chinese, and corrupt politicians. If you're going to attack riot cops or the military, 3 major cities. If you're going to attack riot cops or military, and you definitely shouldn't, but if you're watching them being attacked on TV, there's 2 different kinds of attacks. There's like standoff. There's kind of like a standoff, and think of it like a pushing or a shoving match. The occasional protester gets grabbed. They all shove each other around. And it's like watching. It's like, oh, hey, Mike, that's funny. Think about like a glorified shoving match. You know, you have the protesters pushing the riot cops around, and the riot cops are pushing them, and they'll all spray each other, and it's like a slap fight. RC says it's truly a dance and it's far smaller. Yes, I believe it's meant to draw in good people to do stupid things. Well, I think it's also meant to draw bad people in to do stupid things. Yeah. So, think about like a slap fight. You know how like when two cats, they're both leaning as far away as they can, and they're swiping at each other, and they growl and poof themselves up and make themselves look really big. They're big. They're posturing. The protesters, rioters, whatever you want to call them, they're just posturing. It's a shoving match. It's like a tug of war. And January 6th, woo, January 6th, woo. That was just a really big shoving match. And then they got, a guided tour, and then they left. 99% of the time in America, it's just those shoving matches. And they look scary and they feel scary. But once you learn to control your adrenaline, you realize there's an ebb and flow to these shoving matches. Now, that's not to say that they aren't dangerous, because you absolutely can and will get ambushed to and from going to these places. But in the grand scheme of things, you're probably safer in the middle of the riot than trying to get to or coming out of the riot. Usually. Because the riots in and of themselves are just big shoving matches. There's a song called Shove. Oh, no way. So, hell yeah, I'll check it out. So, those are one type of riot. Still dangerous. Grunge, hell yeah. Those are still dangerous. People can still get hurt. But by and large, it's just two sides posturing. The problem is, much like how a military is doing quote-unquote training exercises, wink, wink. Training exercises, wink, wink. And then all of a sudden, they're steamrolling you with tanks. RC says, how many people are aware just how many countries are instituting their digital dollars, social system surveillance pulling it from the USD? Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, we've got a big crash coming. I agree. And actually, I think it's going to be 4. Shit, I hope my audio is not blowing out. Let me lower it just a little bit. Oh, it'll fuck up if I do that. No, wrong button. No, wrong button. There we go. There we go. I don't want to blow my audio out. Here we go. Irishman, what is up, buddy? Okay, so you've got these shoving matches, and I feel like I should be illustrating this, but I don't have enough energy to do that. All of a sudden, though, there's like an escalation, and I feel like hold on a second. Where's the doodly do? How do I add text on this thing? There we go. Okay, so on the one hand, you have like pushing, shoving. This is turning into like a Tool song already. You got your pushing, your shoving. Oh wait. Yelling, pepper spray. Paintballs. I wouldn't even call these like less lethals, and I would almost put like fireworks over here, but like fireworks is kind of subjective. And fireworks is almost kind of like right in the middle. And then over here, microwave ray guns. Dude, yeah, no shit. Well, yeah, and I guess like like the LRAD sonic weapons. LRAD sonic weapons. And actually, Antifa's kind of started making their own improvised sonic weapons, which is interesting. But over here, you have things like Molotovs, directed mortar rounds. Yeah, yep. Bricks, rocks. Molotov / firebombs. And I want to emphasize Molotovs are different than firebombs. Does anyone know the difference between a Molotov and a firebomb? Anybody? I know some of you do. Do. Haven't maxed the plastic yet, but the pallets of freezer had melted in. Yeah, no shit, dude. Speaking of shit in Amazon carts, dude, Amazon was straight up dead this morning. Like, Amazon stopped working. Yep, one has fire. CDK is right. The other has the molly. One has the molly and the one has the fire. Show is right. Good job, you guys. Yeah, also, yeah, how long was fucking Amazon fucked up this morning? Jeez. So, yeah, having stuff in the Amazon cart might not work. Yeah, AWS took a dog shit this morning. It didn't affect my work, which is good, because I think the last one, CrowdStrike, well, that fucked everybody up. Firebombs to put out fires, I guess. Maybe. I'm not going to argue with them. Yeah. Oh, man. And everybody got pissed off about Signal. People were ready to string Signal up by their naughty bits. Anyway, I just thought of that because you guys were talking about having stuff right in your Amazon carts. I had just shipped something to somebody, and then it went down, and I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. Okay. So, bricks and rocks could almost go, like, in the middle. And in fact, let's do that. Let's do a third one in the grand scheme of things. I'll put lasers. And a lot of people make fun of me for including lasers in here. Oh, drones. I'll put drone harass. Drone harass. That's good. That's good, CDK. I did say naughty bits. Dude, when I'm really sick like this, I say a lot of shit that I don't normally say. So you guys are in for a fucking treat. Tell you what. And then the third one is just like, full blown, kinetic. So, oh yeah, Portland has been big on the laser thing for 5 years. Dude, I know. I've been all in on the NyQuil and the Tylenol daytime. Firearms, explosive vests, vehicles, IDs. So here's kind of the three. I woke up super late. Oh damn. Yeah, Roll. Someone was saying like they should make a gun that like shoots job applications. But yeah, so over here is like firearms, explosive vests, vehicles, IEDs. I'm sure there's more. But so 2 nights ago, what kicked off the main event, the main altercation, was somebody in the crowd. Yeah, so here's the thing, Rip Curl. Don't worry about armed drones. Worry about unarmed drones, because the drone doesn't need to be armed. People just need to think that it might be armed. Does that make sense? Like, you could have 10 drones and 9 of them could be fine, but if even one of them is bad, it's going to cause fear and panic. And so what happened 2 nights ago is someone flew a drone into the ICE employees, and it was a tiny drone, and I'm sure it didn't hurt them, but the threat of it was enough to trigger a response. Does that make sense? So those are tactics that could either draw people out, or it could make them clam up, hunker down. And the thing is like, with just some very, very subtle differences, some of these over here in this left category, like gas grenades, gas and smoke grenades, some of these can, very quickly start scooting their way over. And an example here is, so like 2 nights ago, they threw so much gas and smoke at the same time that you couldn't see. And I don't think I have any pictures of it ready to pull up, because I don't have them saved kind of like this. I have them saved like a different way. But the smoke was so thick that you couldn't see. And not only that, but a lot of the smoke was like so hot that it started fires. And yeah, rural, you're exactly right. And those drones are completely untraceable. You can get them by the bucket load on Amazon. They practically give them away. They will practically give those drones away. There's no like intelligence or balancing or anything on them at all. They're just an engine, 4 motors. They hook to your phone. And you bonk them into something one time and they tear themselves apart. But with the advent of 3D printed kind of rubber drones, I don't know if you guys have seen the YouTube video, but there's like 3D printed rubber drones, and you can run those right into somebody and it'll just bounce off them and keep going. And I would not want to get in a fight with one of the new, basically indestructible drones. I mean, the drone that I have now is pretty indestructible. At max flight, it will not destroy itself flying 40 miles an hour into concrete. These fly faster and they're even more indestructible. Like they'll fly max speed into a tree and just bounce off. And if people are standing on the side of a building, it doesn't take much to get them to, start swinging and swapping and ducking and dodging, and they've fallen off a building. And also, if there's no, if there's no accurate countermeasure, if there's no immediate countermeasure, it's just going to empower people to do it again. And the next night there will be 10 drones. Because if they can afford these $35 animal suits, they could afford buckets of these fucking drones. Excuse me. So like drones, I put drone harassments like here in the middle, like, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to posture. It's like a chess game, but without escalating. You're trying to posture without escalating. And so people wear more and more armor. They wear more and more gas masks. And they try to keep it here in this first, I know. Not only do they have a backpack with a change of clothes, but they're wearing a change of clothes, and they're wearing a balloon suit. And they have a gas mask. And so, you've got all these problems, but this is all just posturing. And then, they can put on their little balloon suits and act like the whole thing's a big fucking joke. Most people don't take it seriously because it almost never gets to phase 2. Although they'll do bricks and rocks a tiny bit. They've been, so in Portland in the last couple weeks, they've absolutely been bashing people. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Get on that. As soon as I feel better, I'm going to be doing the same thing. So they'll bash people on the back of the head with a rock, but they keep it on the down low. They keep it on the side streets. They keep it away from the media. They keep it away from the cameras. They'll go break into your car. They'll go put caltrops in your driveway. I don't know. Yeah, should I put caltrops here? Caltrops are really dangerous, but they're kind of a denial. I don't know. Where would you guys put caltrops? Sorry. They'll put caltrops in a driveway, but they'll keep that shit on like the down low. Excuse me. So they'll briefly enter this center one to test the water. Does that make sense? They'll come in here, they'll test the water. They'll see how they're doing. And then they'll scoot back to this really, really fast and go, tee-hee-hee. They'll go, tee-hee-hee, we didn't mean it. Tee-hee-hee-hee. And then they'll scoot back over here. Whoop, tee-hee-hee-hee, tee-hee-hee-hee. Then they'll launch a direct mortar. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, I don't know why they cry about it. I don't know what the fuck they think is going to happen. If you don't have heavily armed parking lot security, you're just expect that you're coming back to a destroyed car every night. This whole philosophy that they think that their car is some kind of, yeah, I know show. I watch that stuff every night. I think he fell off his scooter, like his scooter died and he got flung. Yeah. So, this whole philosophy that like their car is somehow off limits is insane. One of their favorite things to do is to let you get to the event, destroy your stuff while you're gone, attack you on the way back, and then when you're stranded there, they just keep attacking you until they get bored. Tommy does not know what he's doing at all. I can't support him at all. I get it, but he's an idiot with, tens of thousands of fans, but whatever. He's not smart. But it's fine. These things attract all kinds, and I get it, but he's not. He's going to have a certain kind of supporter, and there's going to be people that are riling him up, but I don't think those people have his best interests in mind. You can get an Uber down there, but getting an Uber out is hard. And so really what you got to do, this is kind of an aside. If you, that's a good way of putting it. I'd agree. You have to get in one way, and then you have to get out a different way. And so like Ubering in and then having a car stashed, RC says that's what rubber rounds from a 12 gauge pepper spray and tasers. No. That it's the whole, you'll never have enough. Even if you had you would have to have a belt fed shotgun. No, you're 100% right, Show. RC, pepper spray is fucking worthless. Tasers are fucking worthless. And you can't have enough rubber rounds to do anything. That's just the reality. Tasers are fucking dog shit. And you can never, ever carry enough pepper spray. And they're all wearing balloon suits and N100. Actually, a lot of them are wearing Miras now. They're wearing full Mira face shields. Nothing is fucking getting through those. in fact, you can hit somebody in the face with a rubber bullet wearing mirrors, and I don't even think they'll know it. They're expensive as all fuck, but like Antifa has infinite money. How much do mirrors run for now? Oh my gosh. The CM8Ms are $270. The tacticals are $280. Yeah, go actually watch the videos, and they are wearing full mirrors. Some of them are still wearing like 3Ms. Lowers, and then goggles, which is what I used to rock. But no, mirrors can take anything short of a full-on real round. So you have to really know what you're doing. Yeah, no problem. Getting out of a riot involves your vehicle has to be parked somewhere else. You have to have an armed team at that location, and it has to be in a counter ambush position. I can't tell if I'm blinking or if everything's going dark. However, if that's like hidden in the back of a parking garage, you still have to be able to push back through that fighting force. And if that fighting force is up to Molotovs, firebombs, mortar rounds, bricks, rocks, lasers, drones, and caltrops, you've just sealed yourself into a last stand position where you have the benefit of being armed, but you're not shooting your way out. Oh, hammers. Hammers. They should go on this one. Claw hammers. Claw hammers. Claw hammers are probably the most versatile thing on the planet. If you had to go in the apocalypse and could you just like choose this one thing forever, it would like to be indestructible. It should be a claw hammer. So what they do is, okay, so you got back to your car and you're safe. And you've got, your 4-man team or your 8 or even your 12-man team, and they're armed. You have to push back through. There's going to be caltrops. There's going to be busted shit everywhere. They're going to force you to drive back through the gauntlet. And if you don't know how to fight through an ambush scenario, you're not getting out. They're going to disable your vehicles, and they're going to attack you, and they're going to try to kill you. And that's why I say it's cute. It's cute to think of all these things, but it's not practical. When you're coming and going in your transition spaces, you have to assume that you're here, or even here in some cases. This show is for the cameras. This is what's going on behind the scenes. So this is what you prepare for, and this is why I get so fucking pissed when people say, just shoot the first person. No. When you're dealing with 80 psychopaths, you're lucky if 2 or 3 people give a shit about the person that you just shot. The other 75 are still coming after you. And you have to have an overwhelming amount of ammo. That's the other thing. Oh, I carry a Glock 17. Oh, well, that's good. If you're a really good shot, you might take out 3, maybe. And even that, people survive rifle rounds all the time. And if they throw a hammer at you, it doesn't matter. Your Glock 17 is gonna look great in their backpack as your head's getting bashed in with a claw hammer. Because they'll just throw a claw hammer at you and rush you. So, Ringo. Okay. You have to have a loadout on you, and you have to have a second loadout in the car. And the only hope you have of getting out of there relatively unharmed is to have your own smoke, because you're going to be crossing a lot of danger areas, and you need to be able to deny them. And so what people will do is they'll take their license plates off. They'll cover up all their vents with plastic. And then you have to have people outside the vehicles with patrolling with the vehicles, because they have to be able to clear the runway. And I don't know how many people in their, bug out vehicle, they have a giant shop broom, but that's basically what you need. Now, if people are wearing mirror masks, the only thing I've seen work, I've probably pissed off everybody, because everyone's probably left because people think they know everything, but I've actually done this myself in Minecraft many times. The only thing that works against mirror masks is paintball guns. You can paintball gun the hell out of somebody's mirror mask, and they'll start to struggle a lot because they can't see. And so if you don't want to go the lethal route because it's not quite there, you can paintball everybody's mirror masks and then have somebody, getting all the caltrops out of the road. And if you don't have run flats, you can get fix a flat, but that's going to fuck your tires up. So, I know this isn't fun or cool to talk about, but I really know what I'm talking about. And it kind of annoys me that nobody wants to talk about it as soon as it gets real. But this is real. We're right here. And we're slowly getting over to here. There's been caltrops, they've been throwing rocks, they've been doing the drones, they've been doing the lasers, they've been but they're definitely firing fireworks into the crowds. And kind of my beginning of the point to all this is they haven't done Molotovs and firebombs yet. And that's almost kind of where the crossover happens. I still don't understand why riot cops tolerate getting Molotoved as much as they do. I don't understand, and this goes for the US and it goes for Europe as well. Once Antifa starts throwing Molotovs, I do not understand why law enforcement and the military don't immediately go to their firearm. They will for vehicles, which I get. But we've seen some, I think it was like last year we saw quite a few like fake explosive vests. But we haven't seen any real ones stateside. See IEDs all the time, but they usually don't go off. But every once in a while they do. Oh, the cats are attacking each other. We've seen IEDs in vehicles. Like, we're here, just not a lot. And there's been some firearm attacks, on the ICE facilities. But they mostly stay like in this area, and then they kind of sneak over and tee hee hee hee. Oh, the cat drama is real. So that's kind of that. And I think maybe kind of my point to all this is like we're slowly making our way to the middle, day by day. Ringo is bawling. Ringo. 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 Fuck. I'm sorry for the coughing. Ringo, buddy. Ringo, buddy. Come play with your butterfly. I mean, your bumblebee. Ringo. Come play with your bumblebee. Come play with your bumblebee. Yeah, come play with your bumblebee. Yeah. Jabonesy, how's it going, buddy? We're talking about the civil unrest. I did the three, kind of the three levels of civil unrest, because our National Guard is coming. So I went down there and they weren't there last time, but maybe they'll be here. Maybe they'll be there next time and I'll get to see the National Guard. That'll be fun. I didn't get to see them the last time they deployed. But I want to see them this time. Say howdy, y'all. Wow. I'm excited about that. So those of you, well, if you're watching this later, if your local area is here, kind of watch for signs of this as they work their way to this. And understand that kind of lone wolf stuff, fake army. I've heard so many funny names. It'll be fun. They are fake army though. I have a feeling by the end of this we will be getting real. We'll be getting real army, but I think it's going to be a while. And yeah, fake army. I love it. It's so funny. You're not allowed to go 25 feet away. Get back here. You'll get lost. Yeah, Rip Curl says, with all that, it's best to stay away. Yeah, basically what you have to do is you have to find a defensive line. You have to find a line in the sand somewhere. And I've done a video on that before. You know, it's your subdivision, like, plus 1. So, you know, it's watching over your subdivision and then keeping in contact with, you know, the subdivisions on each side, and making sure their marches don't go into the suburban areas, because that's what you don't want. And they will definitely do that. You know, if you look and see what happened to the McCloskeys, and even in Kelowna, they marched into the rural areas. Well, they inexplicably got a wild hair up their ass, and they were like taking vans into the rural areas, and some guy like just dumped buckshot into one of them. It was on video. And well, that was that. I think he shot 2 more as they were trying to get away. And then they decided that, you know, that wasn't a good idea anymore. That was so. Every once in a while, they try to do it. And you also have that Ring doorbell prank camera purge shit going on. I can't remember what state it was. I want to say it was like Alabama, but I can't remember. There was a black gal staying with her mom. If you've seen it on the news. I'm only saying that like in case you saw that one on the news, you know what I was talking about. And all these creeps came up in their purge masks and were creeping on this house and banging on the doors and stuff, and destroyed, like, ripped up the backyard. And they didn't come in. But unfortunately, you know, it's kind of already too late. But, you know, but I don't expect like one gal that's there protecting her mom to also be able to patrol the neighborhood. That's not feasible. You know, not everyone's going to be able to patrol the subdivision. Like, if there's only one person in the house, I don't even think I would do that. If there was 1 or 2 people in a house and one of them was like elderly, I would probably stick them in a different house. You know, with other people. That way, I guess we would have like less to patrol. But that's tough. But yeah, she said she was ready with her Second Amendment. And I hope they catch those psychos, because that purge shit is like, and the door kicking challenge and stuff is like the real deal. That's probably my biggest concern is, you know, meth heads trying to kick the door in, which is any bit as dangerous as, you know, riots. RC says the small crowd Portland is getting could be handled by a 2 group of 12. It can, but they won't do that. And they've had opportunities to do that in the past, opportunities that would have been completely... first of all, I agree with you. This is not me disagreeing. I agree. What I don't know is why, when they have had perfectly valid opportunities to do that in the past, they haven't. So they did a street lockdown, and this is all on video, where they were pulling people out of the cars at gunpoint and robbing them. And there was like two 12-man teams that were armed with like AKs and swords and shit. This is in broad daylight. They pistol whipped the shit out of the guy. He had a less lethal and put it away and went to get his lethal, and they just took it away from him. And Portland PD full well knew what was going on. This was a very, very busy intersection in right up against a residential, and they should have absolutely sent sharpshooters. This was a couple years ago. I'd have to pull up when this happened. That might have been pre-2020. I have the records of all this shit. Let's see. No, not that one. I have them separated by area too, and by year. I have to look for it. No, this was... That's kind of the thing, and that's kind of what's... They don't ever do the same shit twice. And I think it's because it's never quite the same group twice. And a lot of the leaders, I've heard, fled the country when the in light of, potential like insurrection act. And the terrorism stuff. And so it kind of depends on who's in charge as to how ballsy they get. I think this was pre-2020 though. But my point kind of to that is like, they should have absolutely dropped him for doing that. It was like at least 3 guys running around with AKs. And even, there was a lot of people like, oh, the cops will drop him if that ever happens. And they didn't. They were total stand down. And they ended up arresting the guy that that was kind of the first person that got ambushed. Jabonzi says, do you think you believe the infantry would turn against the citizens? No fucking way. I don't think they would in a million years. Because I think there's been kind of a change of the guard. Now, if you'd asked me like 4 years ago, I would have said maybe. But I think a lot's changed in 4 years. I don't think the infantry would turn against the citizens now. And I think the cops would go after like one person, but if there's an armed like 4-man, 8-man, 12-man team, I think the cops will just wait it out. I think the infantry would engage that if that happened. Like if the infantry ran into a roadblock and they decided that they didn't like the roadblock there, I think they would take it out. But just as like a general rule, if someone said go do XYZ to those citizens, no, I don't think they would do it. I think what's going to quickly become a problem, though, is if a governor tells their National Guard to go deal with federal National Guard. I think that's going to be a fucking problem. Jonesy, this is why me and you need to have a podcast together. I think you don't like talking about this stuff very much. But man, we would have some fucking awesome podcasts, dude. I love talking to you about this stuff. No, I mean, I work with tons and tons of prior military, and I know not a single one of them would do it. Yeah, no, 100%. My closest best friend at work is prior Marines, and he was a comms guy, satellites. I think he set up the satellites. And no, not in a million fucking years. Yeah. They would have to put blue helmets on the ground. And if they put blue helmets on the ground, it would be the biggest fucking bloodbath the world has ever seen. If they put blue helmets on the ground. You want to talk about like turning shit into a video game? That would be... I mean, it would be like nothing this world's ever seen if they did that. But that's what they would have to do. Yeah. And I guess we'd all be learning how to fire Krinkovs or what? No, what? Oh, I can't remember the name of the new Chinese rifle. It's not a Krinkov. What the hell is the name of the new Chinese rifle? The QBZ 191. 5.8 by 42. That thing looks so weird. Guess I'd be learning how to shoot one of those. Hell yeah, dude. We should do it sometime. My connection's a little bit better now. We're still on wireless 5G, but it's funny. I put the 5G modem on the fucking washing machine, and it works like a ground plane. And it like doubled or tripled my speed. Jonesy says, I think it's important with what's going on now is having people with combat experience and other experience helping train the average citizens how to do stuff. Everyone needs to be self-reliant. Yeah, I don't have... I mean, you want to do it on my channel, or we can do it on your channel? Or if you want to start a brand new channel, we can do that too. Yeah, training people is super important, and I think the reason why it's blatantly obvious that is one of the top most important things is that it's one of the top things they keep trying to stop everybody from doing. They tried to put that ban in place where you couldn't train with more than one or two other people or something, or all of a sudden like you were immediately an armed militia and thus a domestic violent extremist or some shit like that. They tried to pass that here, to just specifically not let people train at all. And I would say Washington and Oregon are, especially for being, blue, quote unquote, blue states, are probably two of the most like heavily armed, heavily training states there are. I base that on going up in the hills and hearing people shoot. Well, fuck, I live in the middle of nowhere, and in the summer, there'll be like 2 homesteads shooting, and then up the hill, I can hear like 2 more groups of people shooting. And I know that doesn't necessarily mean they're training specifically, but like I have never seen these guys, but like up where I used to live, you go up and you turn a corner and there's like 2 4-man teams. You turn another fucking corner, there's 3 4-man teams. And they're all speaking different cheeky breeky. And they're like, oh, there's cheeky breeky group number 1. And then you turn a corner and there's cheeky breeky group number 2. Like, holy fuck. Gotta like go find your own spot so you don't get cheeky breeky. And they'll decide to do like fire and movement drills like right in front of you, and you're like, all right, well, I guess we got to get out of the way or we're gonna get cheeky breeky. More armed training fucking people that I've ever seen in my life up in the hills. It's unreal. And they're all disparate groups. They don't talk to each other. They don't know each other. It's nuts. And it's like that in every single hill here. And it has been ever since we moved to this side of this half of I-5. It's nuts. So, the quality of all that, or like whose side are they on, like none of that. As long as nobody's actually shooting each other, like you go out there and everybody just minds their own business. Now people will go out there and rob you if you don't have a team, but I tell people, don't ever empty your main, your main sidearm. Shoot something else, set it down, and always keep your main hand loaded with a round in the chamber, and always have a buddy so you can't get robbed, but because that will happen. And goodness knows they find bodies up there all the time. Usually it's not even the body that they're looking for, because that whole area is a body dumping ground. But yeah, things are just different. Things are different here. And probably the big thing is like the churches are really coming around. Not the Mormon churches. They're still shitting the bed. I don't know why. And I tried to talk to the Jehovah's Witnesses about it, and they didn't want to talk about it. But all the Christian, like the mainline Christian churches I've talked to are all arming up and training. if I was a bad guy, there's no way in hell I would take my chances with the churches, the main ones. Now, like if they're like a left-leaning church, or if they're one of the ones that clearly, like the Jehovah's Witnesses and LDS, I think they're gonna have to come around though, and I think they're gonna have to start training too. And it's not just radios; it's movement drills, and a lot of radios. If I'm training people, most of it is not firearms. Most of it's training and on radios and just react to contact and medical, because the chances that they're going to use their radios and medical is like 9 million times more than having to dispatch somebody. And I've found that people learn the firearm stuff really fast. The biggest problem with firearms is like psychological. But if you have a team that already wants to learn firearms, oh man, it's so easy. As long as they're, ego. Jonesy says, my dream is to just be able to get up and train people every day. Whoever wants it, come and learn. Firearms training, tactics, land nav, survival, radio, teamwork. Yeah. Fuck, I would go train with you. The biggest thing that you need is land, which I know you know. But the thing is, like, a lot of that, like land nav, you could do that. Schools usually have shit tons of property. They'll let you do like, a land nav course or something, like, because all you're really doing is like tying up a bunch of little markers and then shooting your azimuths and your GPS and stuff. And you can do your radio work and your land nav stuff at the same time. And then a lot of like the leadership, that can all be like flushed out during land nav. We didn't do that at a school, but we did that in the back of a sheriff's department. That's where we did all of our helicopter training too. Yeah. Oh, that'd be so perfect. I haven't been to Texas in a long time. The last time I was in Texas was during the Ebola outbreak. Isn't that fucking wild? They kept me working so much I never got to go out the whole time. Bitch kept me working till like 6 at night and then wanted to do fucking drinking all night. I was right next to a gun store and I never even got to go. But I'd love to go back to Texas. Next year, if my financials work out, I want to start traveling to do real training. I love the guys here, but there's kind of like two routes to go. And there's kind of like there's always been like two ways here. There's been kind of you join the goofballs, and that's the name I just made up. They don't call themselves the goofballs, but they goof off a lot, and they keep that kind of lightheartedness exactly for the same reason that Antifa dresses up a Teletubbies. Because if you're hiking and rucking and camping and dressed silly, it's hard for them to pin optics on you. So that's kind of the one route you can go. And it's like, I get it. But like, I also get tired of being vetted over and over and over and over and over again. It gets kind of fucking old. But I get it. You know, there's a lot of shitbirds out there. And they take themselves too seriously, and so, you know, I get it. And then the other side is like the hardcore LARPers that you know, may or may not have been in the military or the, you know, the chair force or whatever, but holy fuck, they all act like they're door kickers. And, you know, you better have $25,000 to, you know, drop on exactly what they want. And you're like, okay, yay. And those are kind of like, it's really hard to find groups like in the middle. So you kind of got to make your own. And then you're struggling with then, do you put in money to get training, or do you go somewhere else to train? And you know, the Pacific Northwest just does not attract. Yeah, yeah, yes, you fucking, you hit exactly, you exactly, you knew exactly what I was talking about. You knew exactly what I was talking about. The fucking quad nods, man. I can't remember what the group was, but there was some group where they're like, the buy-in was like a pair of quad nods, and I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. I still don't have a PVS 14. That's one of the next things on my list. I think everybody should have a PVS 14, but it should probably be the very, very last thing you get. But especially out here in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, like, dude, I could have used it so many fucking times out here just for normal, stupid shit that happens. Just with how many people hit deer out here, the PVS 14 would have paid for itself probably at least 2 or 3 times. Because people hit deer out there and you can't see what the fuck is going on. And if I had PVS 14, I could safely deal with it. But yeah, I really want to get real night training. And my friend had a PVS 14 and they stole it, and they followed my friend home and stole the shit right out of his car. Well, he brought in, he went to like unlock the door and set the first groceries in, and they'd already like stolen his kit right out of the back of his truck. And that was the last straw. He fucking left to Idaho. They stole his PVS 14s and like a bunch of his, like, he had some titanium shit. Yeah, like that's the thing, like, you've got to guard everything too, like it's like the last shit in the world. But yeah, I would love to come out next summer and train. And I think the thing is like, I would rather train with friends or with a friend. There was a couple different places I thought about, but like these whole like 3-day grueling classes and stuff, it's like, I get you're trying to like cram as much info, like 3 days of fighting pistol and you're going to go through, you know, 50,000 rounds of ammo. It's like, oh, yay. And I also think, just kind of like rambling out loud, if I'm going to train that much with a pistol, I still don't have the pistol that I think I would really want to train that much on. I want to get a Springfield Echelon. I have an M17, and everybody knows what a joke the SIG P320 turned into. Unfortunately, I invested in the M17 platform, the SIG P320 platform, and it shit the bed. right before the Echelon came out. So you got to use some real Predator Vision shit, but you don't need any of that PVS. Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's exactly it. I want, especially out here, everything is fucking pitch black all the time. And like I feel like, well, and especially, 9 months out of the year, it's more dark than it is light. And I have no night shooting experience at all. Yeah, and I want to set up a rifle so it's good to go for night, and I want to get a can, and if shit goes right with this promotion, if I really get this promotion, if shit doesn't completely go sideways, I would be able to afford all that. But if you had a couple of PVS 14s, then it'd be easier for you to train, because then people wouldn't need that. But I also feel like if you're going to do night shooting, you should have a can. And I don't know why I never thought of that before. But I kind of, yeah, dude, I'd fucking love that. That's my goal for next year, is to get real training. I've kind of hit, I need to work on like my physical. Yeah, you're right. Shit, I'm sorry. Jonesy says you should have a can on the day or night. I know, and it sounds kind of dumb, but I built my rifle kind of to plink really well, to do drills really well, to run the courses well, and to run the range well. It's just a really comfortable gun to use. My AR is like a really nice, comfortable gun to use. But I keep like realizing over and over and over again that it's not like a fighting rifle. It sounds dumb, but I get it. But then like part of me is like, I don't know what to do about it, because the way the bullshit works here is you can't buy a new AR, and you can't buy the fucking mags. And, keep hoping that they'll come and fix all that. But that's been the barrier. I want to run an M1A with a can and a scope is what I want. I want a real fighting rifle, and then set it up to be a real fighting rifle. And then my 5.56 would just be for playing at the range. But fuck, like, all that just went by the wayside. Just like getting an Echelon. Just like, well, you can get an Echelon, but you can't get the fucking the mags for it. You can't buy the shell for it. to SBR it. It's just insane. Like, so it's like, well, then what do? Do you just like rebuild the lower into a different rifle? That's why what I used to tell people is like, you kind of really need two rifles. You need your range plinker. Excuse me. You need your range plinker, and then you need whatever you're actually going to engage with. And it's the same thing with your ammo. Like, there was such a tendency here in the Pacific Northwest to just buy like shit tons of like steel, Tulamo and Wolf and stuff. But it's like, you go to sight in, and that ammo's fucking terrible. Like, you cannot sight in a fucking rifle with Tula. That ammo is unbelievably dog shit. Like, you don't know where the fuck that bullet... Like, you're 25 yards and you don't know where the fuck that bullet just went. You're like, good lord. How does anyone hit anything with fucking Tula? It's terrible. And then, so you're like, all right, well, I'm going to sight in using some Remington or, something that actually has like some semblance of quality control, or it's not going to like fucking blow your rifle apart. But like 2010 through 2018, you could buy thousands of rounds of Tula for nothing. The sports places practically gave Tula away, and they got cases and cases and cases of Tula every week. Tens of thousands of rounds. And so the propensity was to buy all this Tula, and you're like, or, well, some places had like Wolf maybe. And so, okay, so you've got 5,000 rounds of Tula, you've got 7,000 rounds of Tula. Great, but you're not fucking fighting with it. And I think a lot of people made that mistake to where, even if they bought a lot of like XM 155 or what, I can't think of that. MA 155 or whatever, the mil spec, like 55 or 62 grain. I think people didn't buy enough of it to train with, and now it's like, you really should have been training with that all along. And that was a huge fucking mistake that I made. Thinking that having a bunch of cheap ammo, a bunch of cheap 5.56 was somehow going to translate into something. I don't know. It's kind of the same way with those 22 conversion kits. Like, once you've ran them for a little bit, like, then what? And I guess the answer would be like, I don't know, fucking sell the ammo to somebody else and buy some better ammo. And I'd never really thought about it before, but it's like, okay, I could shoot all this for fun, and I guess hope it doesn't blow up my rifle. But in terms of like reliably engaging something at 100 yards or 150 yards or 200 yards, your range rifle, your plinker with Tula is not really doing you any favors. You might be aiming just fine, and you're just launching shit rescue ammo fucking everywhere. Whereas if you just had some decent Remington or some decent like 855, or whatever 62 grain is, you know, you might be hitting those and be just fine. But you never know. And if you're using your plinker rifle, I don't know. But that's the thing. Also, like, I say that, but everybody, Jonesy says, ammo is ammo, my friend. You have to understand that all these firearms and ammo types are just tools to the person using it. Cheap ammo is still effective. It is. I've wondered though. Here's where I'm wondering if the line is drawn. Is as soon as you have to disable an engine, a vehicle engine, if all of a sudden having that better ammo would have made the difference, or if somebody's on a machine gun, or if somebody's on a radio or something, if all of a sudden, or if someone's got a map, or if someone's pointing at you, if all of a sudden, excuse me, having better. But I know all too well of all of the silly people who, oh shit, I knew if I talked too long. Okay, everybody. So, Glocktard, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to talk about barrel twists and ammo weight? That's funny. I knew like any second, as soon as I said barrel twist or ammo weight, you were going to be like summoned. And that's the thing, like, I've shot it 3, 4, 5, 600 yards, and it gets so gnarly. Like, the shit ammo just gets so gnarly. Now whether it's like 55 or 62, like, I don't think it matters, or a 1 in 8 or 1 in 9. But dude, that wolf, I mean, not the wolf, the Tula, like, I think if you're keeping everything at 100 yards, you won't notice. But I always imagined if shit got bad, the first thing I would do is like trade that ammo to somebody else for like something a little bit more, at least was QC'd a little bit more. But yeah, one of the first things I did was like actually inspect every round, and they're like Tula with like fucking pieces of the case missing. Like, oh shit. But the thing is, like, people buy Reman ammo all the time from like who you'd think is like reputable ammo remanufacturers, and fucking primer will be backwards. Fucking primer will be sideways. It'll be like leaking its powdery fluids everywhere. Or the case will just be cracked. You're like, good lord. That's funny shit. Sorry I didn't go out with you guys. I'm fucking sicker than hell, dude. I keep meaning to message you. I'm sicker than shit. But I do want to go out again as soon as I'm not on my fucking man-cold deathbed. Yeah, it's funny with Tula. There's the silver tip, and then there's the copper tip. I forgot about that. Thanks, dude. I'm on the mend now, but like, I honestly, like, the sleep deprivation was worse than any of the cold symptoms. This was a really mild cold, but it got into my chest and I couldn't breathe for shit. And it's fucking like we're on like 9 days now or something. Thursday, I don't know, 10 days. This is the first day I've been able to talk with a semblance of my normal voice in like a week. People at work keep wanting to talk to me on the phone. I'm like, fuck no. You guys don't pay me enough to wreck my voice all day. But as soon as I feel better, Glock, we'll go out. We'll go out and hit some steel. I really want to. I haven't hit steel in months again. I got a new skid plate on the car, so ready to rock and roll. Tore the the last time I went out, I tore the skid plate off the car. So fucked up. So I was like, well, that sucks. I left it there. I'm like, well, Forrest, you earned this. And I left it there. You win this round, Forrest. But yeah, I see a 4x4 truck in my future. If I get this promotion, 4x4 is on the list. Yeah. There that is like one of absolute mandatory things. I really want a 308, and but that can wait. I need to get a 4x4. Midsize SUVs, just like, they're almost there, but they're like not quite. So yeah, that's on the list. We have everything picked out. I just gotta make sure my job shit's on lockdown. I think I'll know more tomorrow. I hope. Well, y'all, I think I'm gonna call it, because my voice is just about done. And I have a whole gallon of tea that I made that I'm going to drink. But I appreciate you all. And I do want to come out there next summer, Jonesy. You better believe it. Like, that's my goal for next year. To finally be like financially independent enough to actually go do something. It's been way too long. I used to have to rely on my, employers to send me places, but this place doesn't want to fucking send me anywhere. So, time for me to use that vacation. Hell yeah, dude. I appreciate it. And if you want to do the podcast stuff, we can do it on your channel. Even if it's just like a one-off, or even if we shoot the shit, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about Battlefield I'll listen to you talk about Battlefield for an hour. I don't care. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on it. The destructible environments look great. I forgot to tell you that, or maybe I did, but like, dude, the destructible environments looked awesome. That's always been my dream, like in a video game, to kind of be able to, make my own hole and fight out of it. I think that's super cool. It's been too damn long. Oh, thanks, dude. I think what I gotta do is I just gotta set up Streamlab yards, whatever the fuck it's called. I think they let you have like one person or something on. That's what all the cool kids do. So I wanted to wait till I was on fiber, but man, they promised us fiber like a year and a half ago, and we still don't have it. So we have everything in. Wow, wow, wee, wah. Thank you, CDK. I appreciate that. Yeah, once once you're feeling better, once you fight off the Nova Scotians and take your hill back. I was hoping that we get fiber. Yeah, no, Streamlabs is really easy. Basically, I just throw a link in the chat, and then it like bloop, like there you're on. It's really easy. I just hope my internet doesn't die. You're gonna do a series soon? Hell yeah, dude. CDK, we gotta start our shows back up. Just make it seasonal. Yeah, Jones, I'll let you know as soon as I feel better. We'll make it happen. We'll do a couple practice ones, and we'll see how we do. Every 3 years. Dude, let's fucking do it. Set one up this Saturday. I don't care. What's the worst that can happen? We'll fucking get pissed off at each other even more. I don't care. Deal with Marines all day. It's not gonna bug me. And I think the new guy I'm trying to get on, I think he's Navy or Air Force. I don't know. Like, I don't care. I don't think they realize what I'm doing yet. I just keep like bringing more and more military onto the team and just hope that nobody notices. Yeah, exactly, CDK. Just ride the vibe, that's all. Yeah, Jonesy Rally Point, exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, maybe if you think Streamlabs is like really easy, like you could always start it up. Have a different person every week talk about video games or whatever. Everyone's doing the podcast thing again. Podcasts are really fucking good for networking. If I can ever get on a podcast, dude, I always sell books. I sell more books on podcasts than anything else. Not my own. I mean, not my own podcast, but like when I'm on other people's podcasts, like, because I'm able to, like, people are interested in what I do and stuff. So, like, CDK does music, and Glocktard breaks batteries. Oh yeah, Glocktard, I was going to talk to you about the new sodium batteries, but I'll message you about it later. Dude, the new sodium batteries are sick. Okay. My voice is just about done. I need to go grab another tea. And thanks y'all for hanging out. And appreciate y'all. And buy my books. And I'll play an outro song before I lose my fucking voice. Yeah, peace. Peace, peace, peace.